We are so blessed tonight to have Paul Krueger again. He's going to share some wisdom, get us fired up, and we feel so blessed. We have him on our team, and he's just amazing. And I always tease that he can lift an 18-wheeler. So, Paul, take it away.
Right. Thank you for that. Appreciate the introduction, and I'm glad everybody could join us tonight. I know there's been some, it's been quite an interesting time in the history of humanity. Never in the history of humanity has there ever been a time where the entire world collectively has shut down, has been forced to put a pause on their life, to hit the brakes, so to speak, and really take a moment and be able to reflect on a full worldwide conscious level. What's really happening? What does it mean for me? And how do I navigate this so that I come out the other side in a way that's empowering, not only for myself, but for the people that I want to touch, for the lives that I want to connect with. So I find it very unique in that we do have an opportunity to not just sit around in quarantine mode for the next 4 more weeks or so, or it might be longer. We don't know. And that's the interesting part about this whole situation too, is the uncertainty of it all brings a whole new level of anxiety to some people, fear to some people, but also what if possibilities to other people. And that's where I want you guys headspace in. What if possibilities? Okay, so it's more of a mindset of what if this event and this forced quarantine and this forced lockdown was just what you needed in your life so that you could do some inner reflection. You could look at a bigger picture of where you've been, where you're at currently, how things like this affect you, and then where do you want to go from here? So that's kind of the mindset and the space that I want you to be in, the what if possibilities. And today's topic, I wanted to dive into something very specific. And it's actually the 12 reasons that smart people fail in business. Now, all of us are entrepreneurs, and all of us need to take that title to heart. And we also need to adopt that as part of our identity. And I say that because some of us don't know how powerful of an opportunity that we have right now. Some of us do, and that's why we're working our butts off. And then some of us kind of miss the mark, and that's okay. But the fact that you're on the call says something about where your mindset is, and you're in the right place, you're with the right team, you're with the right people, and you have the right mindset to continue leveling up to a better place to get the results that you're looking for. So let's just get the obvious things out of the way. Number one, isogenics is an opportunity that's available for everybody. Okay, what I mean by that is there's nothing that you need in terms of skill sets, pre-qualifications, requirements, or genetic benefits for you to succeed in this business. We all start in the same place with 0 group, 0 team, 0 BV, and really the limitless opportunity to create a business and a team in the way that we want to. Okay, so when I'm talking about failing as a business person, I want, and I know people are like, okay, Kimberly just got done telling us that Paul is here to motivate us with positivity and everything, and now I'm going to come at you and tell you why we're all failing. But no, it's not like that. It's not the kind of talk I want to do. In fact, within each of these points, and there's 12 of them, and don't worry, Kimberly, I'll be quick. I got notes to keep me on track. But the reason I want to have this talk is because it's going to bring some very important highlights to yourself, maybe to your team, and to the opportunity that you have to find out, okay, where can I adjust? Where can I adjust my sale so I can go in the direction that I'm really looking for? So let's just dive in right now. So the 12 reasons smart people fail in business. Now, I had some help with this, this information by one of my favorite YouTubers, and I'll mention him at the end, but he gives great entrepreneur advice, and he also shares things in a way that are easy to understand. So I thought this would be a great target of information for us to go over too. So the first thing I want to go over is when somebody's failing business, typically there's a term in Zen Buddhism, and it's called Shoshin. Now, the Shoshin is actually, what it means is the beginner's mindset. And when we have a problem in business, when we're failing in business, typically our beginner's mindset has disappeared. And what I mean by that is if you think that you know it all, if you're not willing to learn more, then you've already kind of shot yourself in the foot, or you're dead in the water. I mean, there's a lot of different expressions on how you can interpret this, but it literally means, it refers to having an attitude of openness, eagerness, and a lack of preconceptions in the field of study that you're pursuing. Now, in our field of study, we are in the field of network marketing. Now, if we come into this business with all of our preconceptions and our baggage from past employers and having the employee mindset that we're all kind of raised up to have, and as well as all our emotional baggage from just life in general, the stress, the hardships, the struggles that we've all been through on different levels. If we bring that all with us and we think that that is the frame of reference that we should start building our business, then we might have trouble doing so, because there's a level of openness and eagerness that needs to be there so that you can learn a new skill set. Because if you already had what it took to become a success in a new pursuit, you would already see that the success is showing up in that pursuit because the skill sets are in place. If you don't have what you're looking for from this opportunity or from any other opportunity that you have in your life, be it learning a new language, or pursuing a new hobby or skill set, or maybe learning how to play the piano. If you don't go in thinking, I know nothing, but I can learn as I go, and I'm open and eager to finding out what people that have gone before me have to say, and I'll emulate that. If you have that mindset, you'll succeed in this every time. So number one reason that you might be not having the success that you're looking for in this business: Shoshin disappears. Shoshin. It's just spelled how it sounds. The second point is you're too conservative. And I don't mean that in a political way, and I don't mean that in a philosophical way. I mean that in a literal way. You're too conservative. Sometimes you have to take risks that you don't want to take. Sometimes you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and find a new level of personal power that you can operate at so that you can achieve these new goals. Okay, it's pretty basic. Either you take the risk of talking to the prospect or you don't. Either you open up a conversation with a stranger and build a relationship, or you don't. Either you post on your social media in a way that engages people and attracts people, or you don't. And typically what happens is people can walk into an opportunity like this. They see how it would benefit their life, but then they don't take the risk of doing something different to have something different. Okay. And if we always do what we've always done, we'll always have what we've always got. You've heard that before 1,000 times over. So point number two, too conservative. Point number three, over-promising and under-delivering. Guys, when I heard this point in the conversation on that video I found, this one really rang to resonate with me, because we don't have to be fancy. We have an opportunity that is that good. We have products that are that good. Anybody here that's new, that is just starting with us, listen, the opportunity, the products are that good. I don't have to brag about them. Just use them and you'll get the benefit. Just start building the business and the money will be there. When Lynette and I first started in this business, we could not believe We could not believe the amount of different money that they were throwing at us on a continuous basis. When you're going from associate to consultant to manager, director, executive, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, you're moving up the ranks. Guys, there is so much money. Go do everything you can to unlock the abundance of the compensation plan. When you're stuck in a world of, I'm just trying to get one more person, I'm trying to get this, that, or the other, then you miss the bigger picture. Listen, throw mud on the wall. If that's all you can do now, that's okay. But the more you do, the better you get, and the better you get, the more success you'll have. The more success you'll have, you'll rise up the ranks in that compensation plan. You'll really see that this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and it only gets better. So let me go back to my point. Over-promising and under-delivering. You don't have to be fancy. Say it with confidence when you say, this is an opportunity that will change your life. Say it with confidence when you talk about the products. When somebody's looking for a product result, say, these are the products that will get you the results that you want. Trust me, trust the products, trust yourself, at least for 30 days. Let's give it the best shot we got and see where we're at after that. After that, we can game plan, re-strategize, find out where you want to go from here, whether it's something you want to continue on or not, or you're not going to give it a shot at all and you're going to miss an opportunity of a lifetime. We don't have to be fancy. We just tell them like it is. We just be honest with them, okay? You don't have to promise them anything that the products are going to do that they're not going to do. And when you get fancy and you start promising things to people and you don't deliver, then they lose confidence in you. They lose trust in the process. They lose trust in you. And then you kind of ruin that relationship in a way that they saw something early on, but if you don't deliver, then they start to question whether anything or everything that you're saying really has some merit to it. So just be conscious of the fact that when you're talking about this opportunity, when you're talking about the products, when you're talking about where this can take people both physically and financially, just give it to them straight. People like a good, straight, solid, confident answer, and be honest about it, because it is what it is, and it's really, really good. Okay, so that's number 3, over-promising and under-delivering. When people do that, they'll typically shoot themselves in the foot, and then they'll start to fail in their business. Number four point, they're too fact-driven. People are too fact-driven. What I mean by this, I can only show somebody the studies about how our products literally and scientifically transform bodies from the inside out so much. I mean, at a certain point, the facts don't matter because nobody ever moves from facts. I mean, even when some people think that they do, it's really an emotional connection to the possibilities of, well, what if this does work? What if I can transform my body and find the person that I love again within myself? I'm not talking about other people. What if I can re-engineer the internal environment of my body that reduces inflammation so that I can operate at a higher level energetically and healthfully? Okay, that's from the product side. From the business side, what if this really does set me free? Maybe that's too big to think. What if this really does provide me with an opportunity that I could pay my car payment? What if this really does provide me with an opportunity that I can stash a little bit more away so that if anything happens in the world like it is today with the COVID situation and everybody's locked down, I have a financial fortress for me and my family that will kind of buffer that situation, right? And let's not talk about 6 figures a day or 6 figures a month. Like, you know, I'm going to build this business. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to make 6 figures an hour. Like, this is going to be huge. Let's just get down to some baby steps and like start with, if I get to covering my rent, mortgage, car payment with Isogenics, then let me see what I can do after that. But let me see the reality, the situation in that first, because if I can get to that level, what else can I do? What else can I do? And prove it to yourself, right? Like Lynette and I have been doing this for 6 years, and nobody needs to prove anything to us. Either you want the opportunity or you don't. Like, this is like a no-brainer to me. But if you're having trouble seeing the power of the opportunity, then that's why we're here, because people like Kimberly, people like Stephanie, people like myself, we've been going down the road. We're on chapter 37, and you might be on chapter 3, but we're still in the same book. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not that foreign. It's just we're a little bit further down the road, and we can show you that, yes, what you're doing now will pay off down the road. Just keep flipping pages in the book. You'll get there, right? And that's really down to the action. Keep taking action on a continuous basis. So so I'll go over real quick just to recap, because I like to recap the 12 reasons that you may be failing in your business, and some adjustments you can make to fix this. So number 1, the Shoshin disappears. Your beginner's mindset disappears. Number 2, you're too conservative. Number 3, you might be over-promising and under-delivering. I want to go back to that point real quick, because I thought it was important when I heard that too, is what are you over-promising and under-delivering in a customer service context? And that's something that really resonated with me and Lynette a while back when we read a book by the owner and founder of Starbucks. And he has this, I forgot what the book was titled, but it's all about customer service. And whether you like Starbucks or not, that's not the point. Whether you think that they give good customer service or not, that's not the point. The original philosophy of Starbucks was world-class customer service on a continuous basis, so that the customer knew, if I go in and I get this service, which is coffee, I'm going to have the most wonderful customer experience from start to finish, from when I walk in the door to when I walk out the door with my product. Same thing applies for us, okay? Except maybe sometimes our customer experiences are a little bit more extended, right? From the time that somebody starts talking to you about this particular opportunity, be it the products or the business, you have to start thinking like a CEO, right? That this customer just walked into my store, my virtual store, and I am the representative. I want to give them the best customer experience from start to finish that I possibly can, so that they'll want to come back. I don't need to keep dragging people. Hey, did you get your shake? Listen, if you like the customer experience, you'll always be back, right? So when we're talking about overpromising, under-delivering, are you overpromising on the support that you'll give people, but under-delivering on that? Which means bump up your level and quality of customer service. It'll pay off in the end. And then number 4 is fact-driven. Sometimes you got to move beyond the facts and the stats and the statistics and let's get passionate. Let's get a little bit emotional about this. Like, listen, we're talking about setting you free. We're talking about some opportunity that you've come across right now that will take care of that mortgage payment. There are thousands of people, literally tens of thousands of people in this business that all their bills are taken care of by the business that they built in Isogenics. Guys, you know how powerful that is? If you want to raise at your job, how much effort and time do you have to put in your job to do that? But you can give yourself a raise now. This is your opportunity. You want to make $10,000 more this year? Guess what? Isogenics is your golden goose, baby. That's it. So get a little bit more passionate on the emotions of the possibilities and a little less fact-driven. Don't not give them the information, but give them all the information followed by a wave of passion connecting their desires with this opportunity, okay? Number 5, you're too much in the me mentality, right? What is this business going to do for me? Now, we need to focus on what we want out of this business. But if we're only focusing in a way that our work is only to benefit us, you're going to lose a lot of the relationships. You're going to lose a lot of the connections that are possible out there with people that actually care that you care, right? There's the old quote, people don't care how much you know. Help me out. they care. Well, can we edit this out part? Can we edit that part? People care more about you caring about them rather than what you know. That is a terrible paraphrase, but you know what I mean. You can Google it. It's out there. But people want to know that they're in the right place, that the support that they need in a way that makes them feel like they could be themselves here, like out there at their job. They're somebody else's, project, or they're somebody, like maybe they're not accepted at their job totally, or they have disagreements with their boss, or they have, they're like, going to school and they're like, I can't stand this, or, like maybe it's just not like what they imagined it to be. But in here, in the ISO world, this is their home. This is their place that they can be themselves, that they can shine, that we can help them rise up, that we can help them kind of lift to that new level of confidence and power in themselves so they can start transforming other lives. Okay, so the me mentality, we have to get back to the us, the we, right? Change the me to we, and everybody wins, right? So when you prospect first about what's in it for them, right? The with them, right? What's in it for me is what they're thinking. So you need to think about what's in it for them. So if they're connected to the fact that you are obsessed with their goals, then they're like, oh, this dude is in my corner. This guy is in my corner, and I'm going to run with him. So I do some high level personal training on the side, and I let my clients know that I'm on this journey with you. It's as if your journey is my journey, right? But in this business, that's actually true. You are literally connected to them in the results that they get. It benefits you, but the results have to be theirs first. Put them first and you'll win every time. Number 6, entitlement. If you're failing in business, if you're failing in this opportunity, you might want to reassess whether or not you're living in an entitlement space. The world, Isogenics, Jim and Kathy, me, Tim, nobody owes you anything. In fact, nobody owes you these calls. Nobody owes me a call and says, hey, great job for doing this, that, or the other for hitting this rank or whatever. Nobody owes you anything, right? And I say that because the entitlement mindset will actually hinder you in a way that you'll think that if it's not working, it's because other people aren't supporting you the way you think you deserve. And then you're flat on your back again and you're kind of like dead in the water. But if you think that, okay, everything is my responsibility, it's all my fault, both good and bad. And I don't mean fault in a bad way. But Tom Bilyeu, if you don't know who Tom Bilyeu is, he's a really good interviewer on YouTube. And he has a lot of different people that he interviews from different industries. But he himself has a nutrition company, and it's fine. But I don't partake in it. It's just not my thing. And it's not network marketing. It's just a mainstream supplement thing, right? So, but that's not the point. The point is he expanded out. He started creating this interview show. And in his interview show, he starts to talk a lot more personally about himself. And he came down to he said, the reason I went from struggling entrepreneur to one of the fastest growing businesses in the country in like 2013, 14, 15, something like that, is because I changed my mindset. For everyone else is wrong. It's everyone else's problem too. It's all my fault. I'm going to take full responsibility for everything, both good and bad in my life, and I'm going to see where it takes me. He said, once I did that, then I had complete control over the outcome of my plans. I had changed my destiny within an instance, going from the blame game to the responsibility game. And from there, now you have the power. Because if it's a blame game, guess what? You're giving away the power to someone else. Because if it's their fault, you can't change somebody. But if it's your fault, and I don't mean fault in a bad way, I mean, if it's their responsibility for why you are where you are, then you lose your power. But if it's your responsibility, and if you take it if you take the responsibility, then all of a sudden the personal power that wells up from the depths of your soul become limitless, because now anything that has something to do with you, you can change, and that will change the direction of your life. So the entitlement mindset, get rid of it, replace it with something more powerful, which is, I'm not entitled to anything, but I take responsibility of everything. Okay. Number 7, you won't admit or you won't make mistakes. Guys, that is the number one thing I can say. Yeah, I put this at number 7. It's probably number 1. If you want to succeed in this business faster, fail faster. If you want massive success, take massive action that you fail at on a continuous basis. Here's the whole philosophy. Because I'm a meathead bodybuilder, and I have been for 25 years, it's easy for me to kind of relate these things. If I had gone into my journey of being a bodybuilder with the mentality of I never want to fail, I would have failed miserably early on in my journey towards growing ridiculous, pointless muscle. Excuse me. Fine, it's not pointless. I can lift a car, and that might be helpful someday. No, but seriously, if I went in with that mentality, I would have fallen flat on my face almost instantly. What I went in with was, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure this out until. But guess what? The secret was that I didn't know. When I started, it was more, I'm just gonna figure this out until it starts to work and I can see my physique changing in the mirror. Okay. But what really was happening was, I was going into the gym and I was failing every day until my physique started changing. What I mean by that is, I would push myself until I failed on my workouts. I would push myself until I failed under the bar and the bar fell on me. I would push myself until I couldn't get one more rep out, and then I would have somebody spot me just for one more and force it, right? I would go beyond failure. And now looking back after 25 years of training, what I did most of my life is I have failed millions of reps of my life. I have failed tens and hundreds of thousands of sets. And that reminds me of the Michael Jordan quote. He listed dozens of things that he failed at. Game-winning shots, playoffs, world championships, free throws, hundreds of this and that and the other. And he said, and that is the reason that I'm successful. And of course, that was a horrible paraphrase. So go Google that quote too. But the point is, guys, if you won't make mistakes in this business, how will you ever learn how to build this business? I can tell you, when Lynette and I were first starting out, we had made a promise to ourselves that we're going to figure it out. And what that meant was, we're going to stumble as many times as it takes. I mean, if you've heard Tony Robbins, he has the famous quote, how long would you give your average baby to learn how to walk? Cut it off after a week, be like, hey, nope, that you're going to be a loser for the rest of your life and you'd be crawling as an adult. No, you just keep helping the baby learn to walk until it learns to walk, right? That's the same thing with us. How long are you going to give yourself to stumble until you learn how to walk in this business with confidence, with power, and with passion? You just keep taking that stumbling step forward, and before you know it, you're in your stride, and now you're in your swagger, and now you're on stage talking about, look at how I'm doing the runway walk down this, and people are looking at you like, well, look at this overnight success. Meanwhile, they didn't see the thousands of stumbling steps that you took to get to the smooth stride, to get to the awesome swagger, to get to that runway, stage walk. I mean, they never saw that. They didn't have to. They're just like, oh yeah, they must have been born with those skills. They must have been born with that mindset. No, nobody. The average overnight success takes about 6 years, right? There you go. I mean, there's nothing else to be said about that. So if you won't make mistakes, we need to change that. The second part of that is you won't admit mistakes. Guys, it's okay to make mistakes here. Nobody's going to punish you for it. It's just a signpost in your journey to pivot your direction. Okay. If you make a mistake, it's not a failure. It's a lesson. And I mean it. I mean, it's a positive teaching lesson. Like, I used to do the dumbest stuff, like, opening conversations with people in ways that probably most people on this call and around the world would probably think, wow, that's really awkward. Looking back, it probably was. I mean, looking back, I'm like, yeah, I probably made more people feel awkward in my prospecting efforts than I needed to. But I didn't know, I mean, I was like just trying to learn as I go. And I thought that's probably, Stephanie says, hey, I've done that. Right. So, I mean, we're all there. Like, if you want a piece of advice to go off this call, go figure out how to make people feel really awkward until you can start to make them feel really good. And two things will happen. Number one, you'll become bulletproof in your confidence and your ability to handle rejection. And number two, you'll learn and filter out all the kinks so that you'll never make someone feel awkward again. You'll make them feel like the most special person in the world because you talked to them and made their day because you showed up. But you made their day by feeling that they made your day, right? So the we mentality combined with the ability to admit mistakes, adjust, and level up from there is going to be a powerful combination. Number 8 of 12, I'm almost done, guys. Number 8 is your lack of selling vision. So what does that mean? Are we selling? Yes, we're selling everybody every day of our life for everything that we do. Whether it's selling your spouse on, hey, what do you want for dinner? Let's try this. Or if you're selling, somebody on the idea of, this cleansing system could literally transform your body from the inside out and you'll feel the best that you ever have. It's all the same thing. It's all sales. It's just different levels. And don't get caught up in that word. And yeah, right, there you go. You have to sell. Like, if you guys got kids, then you're already selling masters. Unless they rule the roost, you know how to sell. You know how to sell the fact that they need to get to bed at a decent time. You know how to sell the fact that they need to, before the school shut down, actually get their homework done. I don't know if maybe they're doing it at home, something. But the lack of selling vision, what does that mean in a bigger picture? Where are you going and where are you going to take them with, right? People don't want to go with someone who is not confident where they're going. They don't want to. The alpha of the pack does not follow an unsure dog. You know what I'm saying? There's different. And to be honest, it's interesting because Lynette and I started watching Dog Whisperer a long time ago. If you guys don't know Dog Whisperer, it's Cesar Millan, and he had a show. It's on YouTube now, and he has his own channel. And he still talks about a lot of the same things, but he talks about the dynamics of the pack. And no disrespect to anyone, but there is a very easy crossover to the dynamics of a dog pack and how people act in their life with other people. So there's nobody that is sure of themselves. And this is the kind of people that you want to attract in your business, people that are confident in themselves and their ability to connect with people and their ability to set a goal and strive for that until they achieve it. You want to attract those kind of people because you want to build a powerful team. So in order to attract those kind of people, you need to start becoming the kind of person you want to attract. Once you become the kind of person that you want to attract, then all of a sudden they show up out of nowhere. You're like, how did this happen? I've been looking for you for a lifetime. Like, this is my running mate for this business. Let's go. Let's get this done. Like, you think like I think. How did this happen? It's not magic. It's not like some mistake. You've been working toward this, right? You built your vision. You built your passion on where you are going and where you can take somebody, because you're confident in the opportunity, you're confident in the products, you're confident in the company, you're confident in the industry, and now you're confident in yourself. And once that clicks into place, you're unstoppable. So let's go on to point number 9 about why people fail in business. They're trying to outsmart hard work. Let's just go over this real quick. If you think some fancy sales funnel is going to be the answer to your isogenic success, you're mistaken. Is it going to be a tool in your arsenal of prospecting and list building? Possibly. Not for everybody. Maybe not ever. If you're thinking that I'll just put my business cards in 1,000 different businesses once the economy opens back up, and people will call me because they want to lose weight or feel great or opportunity, this or that or the other. If you think that's the way that's going to happen, it's probably not. Stop trying to outsmart hard work. The basics of this business are prospect, follow up, enroll, help them with the goals that they have set on why they enrolled, give them the best customer experience possible, and then repeat. Now, if we back it up, we have to go to that prospecting point. That's where everybody gets hung up. Where are all the people? They're everywhere, right? So Kimberly has found an amazing way to connect with people online through sponsored ads. Other people are really good on Instagram through their stories. Some people are trying the YouTube thing and trying to connect that way. They're not on YouTube talking about, hey, this is my shake. You want to buy my shake? Click the link below. They're not doing that. They're talking about something that is something that lights them up, something that fits their, Can you hear me, guys? Thumbs up if you can hear me. I got a phone call. Sorry about that. Cool. So, they're not trying to promote their business or their products every single post or every single time they're interacting with someone. They're either A, letting people know that, hey, this worked for me. If you want to check it out, let me know. Or B, they're talking about something they're completely passionate about that has nothing to do with isogenics. And it builds an audience, it builds trust, it builds a connection with people that might not otherwise have occurred. And then they open the door to those conversations as it unfolds organically with the relationships that you build online. That's in an online context. In an in-person context, once things start opening back up, the economy kind of gets back to whatever the new normal will be, people will still be around. They will be around, right? So once our reservations of contact and connection with people kind of resume back to a level that is healthy and normal, connecting with people on a personal level at networking meetings, at events that relate to things that you like to do, or concerts that you like to go to, or basically get out of the house is what I'm saying. Sitting in your house thinking that the internet is the only way to build this business is not, is trying to, you might be on the outsmarting hard work point that I'm trying to make, which is get back to the basics of building relationships, following up and cultivating those relationships, and allowing an organic unfolding of this as a possibility to continue a relationship with these people. I kind of relate it to gardening. You got to plant so many seeds, but beyond the planting, you have to cultivate. If you just planted and walked away, then you're missing the point of the possibility of the growth that can come from those seeds. So when people talk about, just keep planting seeds and opening conversations and connecting with people, that's step one, but the cultivation is even more important. And I don't mean sit around and, get all kumbaya with a group of people as the main mission. But what I mean is, and Eric Worre talked about this. If you don't know who Eric Worre is, he's one of the great network marketing trainers. But he talks about connect with people, put them on your list, and then find reasons to stay in contact with them. Find reasons to stay in contact with them. Because when I come across somebody that has an interest that is very specific to them, now I have my eyes kind of peeled for things that pop up that relate to that person that would be cool to stay in contact with. So, for example, I have a fighter friend, an MMA fighter friend, and we've been friends for a while, but I just never really come up. But I continue to stay in contact with him with things that come up, funny memes about fighters, or workouts that I saw that jujitsu this or that, or just stuff that's relevant to him. And it's not my passion per se. It's not that I'm not interested in those things. It's just like, well, this is his thing, and I came across it, so I just want to let him know, hey, not only am I thinking about you, but I'm thinking about you in a way that makes sense to you, right? So keep in mind, the outsmarting hard work, if you're trying to get around just getting out there, establishing relationships, and then cultivating those relationships until they unfold into a flourishing garden of relationships that really impact everything that you do and everything they do, then I think you might be tricking yourself in this opportunity. Don't outsmart hard work. Just do the basics, but get good at the basics to where it becomes so effortless for you that the hard work becomes fun work, and the fun work becomes outworking the rest of the world because you're good at it. Number 10, no high road. So if you're failing in business, it may be because you're not willing to take the high road. Now, from my previous point of relationships, that's what this business is all about. With that, we have to take the good with the bad. But think about it like this. Everybody that you attract into your team, for however you did it, however they're on your team, they have their own experiences, they have their own baggage, they have their own strengths, they have their own weaknesses, they have their own positive attributes, and they have their own differences that might not gel completely with yours. But guess what? That's okay. You don't want clones of yourself. That's not what life is about. Life is variety. Life is abundance. Life is differences, right? But when some relationships come into this business, there is some of this headbutting, okay? Instead of trying to be right all the time, learn to let things go that don't matter. Learn to look beyond these current situations so that you can look at the bigger picture, because this person is still a really good person in your life. And this event, this very momentary event, is not something that merits the idea of throwing away this relationship, right? If you can let certain things go along the way, just let things roll off your back. If it doesn't have anything to do with the long-term vision for not only for yourself, but for them, then let's learn to let things go. Okay. I heard a quote a long time ago. It said, you can be right or you can be rich. Okay. Learn to let things go, because being right all the time might feel good in the short term, but it sure doesn't pay well. Everyone's like, hey, I'm going to stand my ground. How profitable is that for you? Let's learn to let things go and let people be themselves, and learn acceptance, learn love, learn that just because they don't see your viewpoint doesn't mean that they're wrong. It's just you live in your own bubble. So you have your own things, and they live in their own bubble and they have their own things. Sometimes those bubbles hit each other and it's not that comfortable, but sometimes they mesh perfectly. And those are the beautiful relationships that are easy and open, and there's no issue from day one. But sometimes there are relationships that are worth working through by letting those little things go. So just keep in mind that taking the high road might be the right way to go. Okay. Learn to let those miscellaneous and really pointless things go. Okay. Number 11, your fear of adapting. Wow, this one is good because of the times that we're living in, right? This will be in history books. Just like the Great Depression was in the history books, there were people like us that lived through that 10-year time span, 9 or 10-year time span, and nobody's ever heard of them. They were just living in their house, trying the best they could, trying to survive, doing their thing. Same thing during this time, right? COVID hits, the whole world shuts down. What do you do with it, right? The point is fear of adapting. Okay, that's number 11. Fear of adapting. Okay, so now the tough thing is, a lot of people don't like to adapt because if they have to accept adapting, that means they also have to accept the fact that they may not be good enough as the current version of themselves to continue succeeding. So when you have to kind of admit the fact that the existing version of us is not good enough, that's a hard pill to swallow for some of us. But if you go into it with a mindset of the Shoshin beginner's mindset, then you'll always maintain that adaptation mentality. So the times that we live in right now is very unique. No one's ever been a part of it. No one's ever had to deal with it. So if we're not adapting our ability to communicate, if we're not adapting our ways to communicate, then we're going to miss the boat. And there will be a new normal, because, when this amount of fear is put out through media, when this amount of conversation about one thing is put out there on a continuous basis, it starts to go in our subconscious mind. And once it enters our subconscious mind, it starts to take a life of its own. And it melts with other things that may have been in our subconscious mind that we have kind of worked through, but also it melts with things that are still not serving us. And this strengthens those things that don't serve us. So if all of this stuff keeps getting downloaded in our brains with the whole COVID situation and what's going to happen, and there's no certainty, this, that, or the other, we start to we start to take on certain qualities of that fear cycle, and we start to put the brakes on the necessary quality of adapting to continue navigating a road that is not paved. Okay, what I mean by that is I know there's a lot of people out there that teach, hey, this is the 12-step roadmap for entrepreneurship. I got news for you. There's no roadmap. The reason is everybody's so different that you could take the skill sets. The skill sets are the same, but the way that those skill sets are applied and kind of put out there on a daily basis for yourself is going to be very different for you than it is for me, than it is for Kimberly or Stephanie, etc. So keep in mind, if you have a fear of adapting, you're going to have a real tough time on maintaining a quality of success in anything that you do. It goes well beyond just what we're doing here. So stop living off of your resume of your previous experience of your life. Let's let that go too. And let's just kind of be an open vessel, an open canvas of, not only am I open to learning, not only am I eager to improving my skill sets, but I am going to be an adaptation machine that no matter what is thrown at me, be it a person's objection or a worldwide government shutdown, I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to navigate around this speed bump, and I'm going to keep cruising, because that's exactly what it'll take. And then finally, the last point, the number 12 point on why smart people fail in business is you're not getting your hands dirty. You might be thinking that this work is too good for you. Like, well, I'm not going to talk to that person because like, they would, they wouldn't have the mentality that I require in my business. There, got to get dirty. Yes. Or, well, I graduated from Harvard with this or that or the other. Guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, good. You're accomplishing things in your life. But when it comes down to it, as an entrepreneur, the person, the customer, the prospect, they could care less about your experience in anything else. They want to know what's in it for me, how much does it cost, and how do I get started? I mean, that's really what they want to know. So if like you're too high and mighty because, you got this education or you have this experience or I've been on the Larry King show or what, like nobody cares. Like just, they want to know what's in it for them. And can you give that to them, right? So if you go in with a mindset of, I'm happy to get my hands dirty. There's no work in this business that is below me, right? I'm willing to do all of it. If I have to start from scratch and my mission is to go consulting, guess what? I'm going consulting again, right? Like I've been cruising in the executive ranks for a long time, but that doesn't mean anything to anybody else other than me. What it means is, guess what? Next person I talk to, I'm going to share the vision based on their goals and what it could do for them and how I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you the best customer experience. I'm going to give you the best customer service. I'm going to show you this is your goal. This is the opportunity. I'm going to link the two. We're going to work together. We're going to get there in this time frame. Watch us make it happen, and let's go, right? That's exactly what you'll do from associate to consultant. And it's the same thing you'll do. It's the same thing you'll do going from 8-star to 9-star. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just expanded out with the abundance of the compensation plan. It's expanded out with the opportunities that you've already lived through and the references that you made that are so solid now that nobody can shake you. It's the same thing. So why don't we just start as if we're all 8-star? Why don't we just start as if we're like platinums in this business and like, we don't want to walk around cocky, but we want to walk around confident in the fact that, listen, the same person I am now is who I'm going to be on stage when I'm walking across as a platinum, right? Now, for some, that's too far out, right? That's too far out, and that's okay. But what I want to convey here is, and you've heard this in the employee world, dress for the part that you want, right? That's what you've heard that in the employee world. You're going to dress as the executive of the company because now you're going to portray yourself and work as if and invest yourself in this company as if you are the executive of the company. The same thing applies to this business, except for it's your company. It's you, Inc. You are the executive. You'll always be the executive. Why not act like it from day one? And this is not an act as if, or this is not a fake it till you make it. This is an act as if, creating the full potentially realized person that you already have within you. You just need to unleash it. Learn to expand it, and then become that person. So if we run through them, I'm going to run through them real quick because I know I'm over on time. But let's just run through them, the 12 points of why you may have been challenged in your success in this business, or another way to put it, the 12 points of why smart people fail in business. Number 1, Shoshin disappears. Number 2, you're too conservative. Number 3, you overpromise and underdeliver. Number 4, you're fact-driven instead of passion-driven. Number 5, you're all about me mentality instead of we mentality. Number 6, you're entitled rather than responsible, right? Number 7, you won't make or admit mistakes. Number 8, you have a lack of selling vision, right? Like, where are you going and why would someone want to come with you, right? Get clear on that. Number 9, you're trying to outsmart hard work. Just get rid of the fancy stuff and just get down to the basics and work. Run the numbers and just let the numbers tell you how I just got done saying, stop being fact driven. That's not what I mean. When you're trying to outsmart hard work, it's easier to work hard and see the patterns and let the patterns tell you where you need to adjust to make your work more effective. That's what I mean. Okay. Number 10, you're not willing to take the high road when it needs to be taken. And what I mean by that is just let things that don't matter roll off your back. Just let it go. It's not worth your stress. It's not worth your aggravation. It's not worth destroying this relationship. And then number 11, you have a fear of adapting. Get rid of the fear of adapting and start learning to crave that adaptation, right? You've heard it another way, get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And then number 12, you're not getting your hands dirty because maybe you think some of this work is too good for you. Or I said it wrong, that you're too good for some of this work. So adjust and you will succeed. Adjust and you will succeed. Keep that in your mind in everything that you do. I hope that this helps. And in a time of uncertainty, focus on what you do know. And you know that you have an opportunity here that can not only change your life, but it changes the lives of others. And coming out of this quarantine will be the greatest thing that you've ever experienced, because you would have put yourself on a path of self-development, of creating a momentum in your business and in your actions that other people will just let pass by. So take this as an opportunity to dive in with everything you've got and create something out of this quarantine situation so that you can look back 10 years from now and like, I remember when that quarantine hit, that was the moment that changed my life because I took that time to change it on purpose. I took the responsibility. It was all my choice, and I'm glad I went that direction. So I hope that helps, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be right here.
Paul, that was amazing. Thank you. You never disappoint. So many nuggets and working wisdom. And, you know, it's like, it's that saying, different level, different devil.
There you go.
There's always problems that don't go away, and you just rise to the challenge, or I should say challenge, right? But that's awesome. Thank you. I get ideas every time you talk, and now my wheels are spinning and I'm ready to go.
Let's go.
Steph wanted to close and tell us some stuff, but I just wanted to mention, I don't know if you guys missed this. Was this recorded, the Leader in Action? I think it was. Do you know? Here's the form. It's a new form, and you're going to love it. It's different than the other one where everything was times. And you know, if you missed one, everything times to 0, and how frustrating that was. It was for me anyway. I'd be like, oh, but so you can get if you did get a 0 in one column, it doesn't matter. You just can't get a 0 in one of these, okay? No zeros down there. And what it is you're going to get points for obviously your personal enrollments, which is your 1 PET. And by the way, this is no longer capped. You are not capped on the number of personal enrollments, which is really exciting because everybody excels in a different area, right? But the order has to be 100 BV to count. And then you're going to get points for your second PET enrollment. That means someone you personally enrolled and you helped them enroll. And of course, again, it's got to be 100 BV order, but you're going to get points for that. And on the form down at the bottom, it's going to tell you how many points you get for each one. So the really cool thing is you don't have to, I never remember it. So it gives you right here that you can look. And then it has personally enrolled rank advancement points that you can put. And what those are, and then active week points. So whether you're manager, director, or executive, for staying that for the week, you get points. And then you just add up all those columns and add them across. That's it. And that's the new Leader in Action form. Super easy. This is so exciting. But you've got, all you have to focus on is do not get a 0 down here, meaning you can't get 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You have to have at least 1, because if one of these is a 0, you're disqualified for that month or that time. So,
Kimberly, the video is in Isagenix Business.
okay, cool. Oh, with, who was it that went over the form? Aaron? Was it Aaron?
I don't know.
He did a much better job than I, but I would go watch it if it's in Isagenix Business, because that's how I learned. Anyway, go ahead, Steph.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'm so excited about that leader in action and how simple that is. It really is going to change everything. And Paul, as always, thank you, thank you, thank you. You allow us to really dive deep and think. And that's the most important thing is we got to really look inside and what's happening. And you force it upon us, which is great because we need that. So we appreciate you being that person to really just really go in such a calm and a beautiful way. Thank you. All right, guys, there are so many things happening right now. Oh my gosh, right? It's like we are in full action. Numbers are increasing everywhere. People are calling in. People are wanting to be a part of this, whether it's for the business or the health or weight loss. The community, they are like coming. And it's amazing how the numbers are really reacting to this. So it's so important to keep your light on. Make sure that people know what you do. Be extremely bold. Do the things that Paul talked about tonight, and just let people know what you have to offer and get your hands dirty, right? Go into massive actions and really tell people. So what's going on? How can you make it so simple? And you guys are all superstars. You guys know what to do and you do it, but a lot of the people on our team don't know how to do it. So simplify this for them. And so many people really need money right now and they can't think correctly. So that's one reason why we have simplified this. And that's teach them using our scripts. I have so many. Teach them how to use the scripts, invite people to the event, get people on the event, and teach them how to follow up. And we have a script for that. Done. Right? If that's all somebody can do, if they can spend 30 minutes to an hour every single day, just inviting their friends and talking to them, get them to the event. These events, if you haven't been on them, are so incredible. Tomorrow we have Dr. Josh Dunsky, Diana, is Diana still in our call? Speaking, and 2 other nurses. I mean, this is just powerful stuff. And next week we're talking the service industry. So all these people that haven't been earning money for the last 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to have different people who have been in the service industry doing extremely well in Isagenix, who gave up that industry so that they could run this business, and it's giving them that money. So we'll give you those details as we get through it, but just know, so bartenders, a hotel, hairstylists, and just really think anybody that their business shut down immediately because they couldn't come in contact with people. That's who we're going to be talking about. So it's definitely an income opportunity. Tomorrow, more of a slight income with product. But if you get your friends on these calls, they will get the communication of who we are. We are community. We're a family. We're positive. We help each other. We're one team attitude, and we have nutrition that works, and people are getting paid. And that's what we need to share with them. So that's number 1. Top Achievers is out. It's available. And who wants to go to Fiji? Type in the chat room if you want to go to Fiji. It's always been on my list. Kathleen sent me her vision board that she's had forever, that she wants to go to Fiji. I mean, we got to make it happen. And I get it. I get it, everyone, because I've even gone through it myself. Oh, that sucks. I'd like to go to Fiji, but I'm not there yet, right? I've even done that. So just don't ever let that happen, because I have seen so many people earn trips that you never expected to earn. And really, some of them, their numbers aren't even that big, but they just did the right things. And if you're in the beginning of your career, meaning cycle wise, you're in the beginning, you have the best chances. So do not ever let your head get crazy. Never, ever let it go crazy, because you guys all have the ability to earn this trip, and let's do this together, man. We've got like right now to start really rocking our bodies so that we look fabulous in Fiji. It's paid for. There is nothing like going on a trip through a company that's paid for. It is absolutely incredible. And you get to market throughout that entire time. I know that Gabrielle Dean marketed like crazy the first event she ever earned, and she marketed to people before she earned it. Who wants to go to, I forgot where they were going, Machu Picchu. She marketed that. Who wants to go with me? She hadn't even earned the trip yet. And she's like, who wants to go with me? Who wants to go? We've had people contact us when we're like, who wants to go on a trip? Because these guys want to go. So teach them, and then by teaching them, you'll help yourself go, right? Believe that you're already there. Vision yourself. Put it on your boards. Put it in your vision plan. Make yourself believe that you are already on the island. Next week is the start of a slew of new things coming out. We've already gotten a little bit of pre-access to some of the stuff coming out. Oh my, make sure you're on the call. I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Isagenix Live. Make sure to look for it, but it's huge, guys. Dr. Plant came to us with the plan. He came to us with products already in motion that work for people, and it's beginning. So it's happening next week, and it's happening the next week, and who knows where it continues to go from there, but it is in motion for us to just take off. So make sure your light is on. Make sure people know what you have to offer. Make sure that people know, like, trust, and respect you. Make sure that you are the go-to person. You have what everybody's looking for, but you've got to be you. You got to be that person. 80% personal, 20% business. Throw in some big flair of who you are this week so that you can really go crazy with business next week. It's Customer Appreciation Week. Make sure that you're getting in touch with all of your team members. Free shipping on $150. Now, what also, and we don't really have a lot of news on this, but I tried it today, and anyone from today for the next 90 days that orders 200 BV, well, I shouldn't say anyone, I got to relook at it again if it's new or not, but at least new people, I think it's everyone, with 200 BV for the next 90 days gets free shipping. So all your people coming in with 200 BV or more, free shipping. I just saved a girl $42 today. Or 48 bucks, I think is what it came out to be. And then somehow her auto ship, her lifestyle rewards came up free shipping too. And it wasn't 200 BV. So I don't know, just go for it. Kimberly, what else did I have? There was so much. I'm like, we got to make sure we talk about all of this because we are in motion, serious motion. The company has never been strong. We talk about this every single time, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Don't be afraid to be bold, guys. So many companies are not strong right now, and it's causing a lot of uncertainty. It's causing a lot of discussion. It's causing a lot of other issues. Be the light. Be that faith and that savior and that light that don't overpromise like Paul talked about, but be the light that people have a place to go. Be their hope. They've got to work. We all have to work hard. We've never said that you don't have to. You've got to work hard, but we just want to simplify it. And then lastly, one other thing, and we mentioned it earlier, that we just received some incredible training yesterday from Davina Messick. Please, if you know her, say thank you. She gave us her website. I'll give it to you, but I'd really love for you to watch the training either from this morning that we did or her call yesterday. But it's www.cravemore.pro. But I don't want you to not understand what she's doing. So I really want you to go through a little training on it. But she's going to give you all kinds of coaching text messages from the minute you enroll them, to like day 11, and then day 23, day 35, day 60, day 90. She gives you all the words, and she came at it from a mindset position. She like sat down with several people over years trying to figure out the exact psychology of what to say to people so that it helps them to have retention and continue to order, have a great experience, share with other people. And it's so timely. I mean, these are like magic words that she's just handing out to people and to us in particular. So make sure you take a look at that. We're going to continue to train on that tomorrow morning on the Work It calls. If you don't know about that, let us know. We'll continue over and over. We'll continue with the Leader in Action. This is all just so great stuff. Make sure you get your team members on these calls, guys. It's our time to come together, but there's so much happening that if they're not coming on these calls, they're going to be lost. And then that's when bad things happen. So we've got to encourage other team members, whether you've brought them in or not, encourage all of our team members to stay together, to hold hands, to get on these calls, and to really, really link arms with each other. And that's what I got for tonight. So tomorrow we have 8 to 9 Arizona time work calls. Kimberly does 12 to 2 p.m. Arizona calls. And then of course, tomorrow night we have our event every single Thursday. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And everybody think Fiji, Fiji, Fiji. Write it down before you go to bed. Write it somewhere in big letters. Put it on your mirror, put it everywhere, and then start doing it from here on out. But do it tonight before bed. All right. All right, thank you guys so much for joining. Paul, as always, thank you. Thank you. We treasure you and all that you bring.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for hopping on.
Yeah.
That was awesome, everybody. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Steph, I left you a couple Marco Polos. I feel like you need some tweaking. So
Okay.
I'm open.
We are excited. Everybody come on tomorrow to listen to Diana. She's going to rock the house.
I know. She said 3 minutes. Like, everybody that knows me knows how much I love to talk. Michelle's shaking her head. Yeah, that's.
I know. You got to help me out, Michelle.
And
Speaking of, did you still want me